Hi everybody, I'm an addict and my name is Barry. And I just went in, I'm a little nervous. When I'm a little nervous I had to pee. So I just went in the bathroom and I saw the sign, and the sign said gentleman. And that word like amazes me, you know. I thought, alright, I'm a gentleman. You know what I mean? Like, and it's one of those words that if you can either take on a shallow level or go deeper with it. What is a gentleman? It's just like the difference between a father and a daddy. You know, you can say because you're of the male gender, you could be a father, but are you a daddy? Because you're of the male gender, you could say you are a man, but are you truly a gentleman? You know? So then, first thing I did, I said to myself, well, what are the qualifications or the characteristics of a gentleman? And I said, well, they'd be kind, loving, compassionate, honorable, have some integrity, honest and open. And I said, well, I think I might qualify. And my head blew up about this big. I took the leak and left without washing my hands. And I said, maybe I'm not a gentleman. Just little things I go through. You know, I was sitting up here and I seen two dudes open the door. They looked in, and one of them said, this doesn't look like it's going to be very good. And they turned around and walked out. And it's like, wow. You know, and first of all, I was insulted. You know what I mean? Like, well, how can you judge what's going to happen in here on a spiritual level by what you see with your eyes? How can you equate the spiritual world with the world that is coming out showing your diseased thinking, your closed-mindedness? I mean, boy, you talk about a closed-minded statement. This doesn't look like it's going to be very good in here. Wow. But anyway, listen, the topic's gratitude. And our gratitude is best reflected by our lifestyle. Our gratitude shows best by the way we live. There is a direct correlation between NA service, all forms of service, and our gratitude. I don't believe anybody can come in here and make me believe they're grateful if they ain't showing up to carry this message to the addict who still suffers. Ain't happening. You can tell me from today till tomorrow that you're grateful. Well, let me ask you something. When was the last time you were in an institution? When was the last time that you went to great personal expense? You know what? Sometimes carrying this message isn't convenient. Sometimes carrying this message gets in the way of what we want to do, of what our families would like us to do, of what our children would like for us to do. It's not easy being an addict in recovery. It's not easy when the phone rings. You know, I'm in this big thing with my wife, you know, like she's trying to get me to not answer the phone during dinner. You know, she says, listen, at least for 20 minutes during the course of a 24-hour day, pretend you're interested in this family. And it sounds real good till I start to think about it. What if the person on the other end of the phone is making their last phone call, reaching out for the last time. Gotten 2 or 3 answering machines, 2 or 3 no answers. I can miss a few bites, you know what I mean? In the 11 years I've been clean, I ain't missed a meal yet. By choice. I say I'm grateful, but you know what? I can back it up. I can back it up. I got 10 guys who I sponsor that'll tell you how I'm living. My wife will come up here and tell you how I'm living. My kids will come up here and tell you how I'm living. First and foremost in my life, Narcotics Anonymous. First and foremost. NA will not take a back seat in my life. Ain't happening. Wife will go. Children will go. Job can go. Car can go. Truck can go. Motorcycle can go. House can go. See ya. I'm out of here. I tell my wife all the time, I said, you know what, Mel? I love you very much. You're Mrs. Gordon number 2. Don't ever think there can't be a number 3. The years I woke up in the penitentiary, where were you at? Where were you at? The years I was in a shooting gallery, where were you at? The years on the methadone lines, where were you at? Abandoned houses, where were you at? Come on, let's get real. What is saving my life? Is it the truck I'm driving? Is it the motorcycle I'm riding? Is it my bank account? Narcotics Anonymous, a loving God, the fellowship. This is a fellowship. Or society of men and women, which means we do this together. It ain't about me. It ain't about meetings that I might have started, or what my sponsor is, or who my sponsee brothers are. This is a fellowship. And no one's excluded. No one. Hey, if they were going to make exclusions of what it takes to be an NA member, none of us would be here. But let me also clarify something on the other side of that. It says the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. If you plan to stay here, you better have a little more than a desire. You better come here and join us, man. Get off the fence. Get into the trenches. Recovery don't happen on the sidelines. Recovery is a contact sport, and it starts with a loving hug, not a burp. Don't burp me. Hug me like you love me. Hug me like you mean it. When you come up and hug me, man, I want to feel your bicep. You know what I mean? I want to feel your chest. I want to feel your heart. I want to feel your love. I want to know that this is for real. Hey, I'm here for real. I don't know what everybody's in here for, okay? And I know some people ain't here for the same reasons I'm here. I didn't come here to find a wife. I didn't come here to get a job. I didn't come here to make any friends. I didn't have any of that shit when I got here. Had no idea what that was about because I never had it my whole life. I didn't have no friends. My life wasn't about friendship. My life was about using. My life was about getting more. My life was about self-destructing. That's what my life was about. So believe me, as much as I enjoy all these creature comforts that NA has offered, I can live without them, man. I could live in a cardboard box. I really could, man. I don't need to be fancy. I was happy in an abandoned house, in a shooting gallery. You know what I mean? Until I learned there was a better way to live. What I'm grateful for is a new lease on life. I'm grateful that some people came to me and said, hey, you know what, Barry? You're 36 years old, man. You've had a lot of people tell you what was wrong with you. Nobody has ever offered you a solution. But we're here to tell you not only what the problem is, but we're here to offer you a solution. I'm grateful that a loving God chose me. I'm grateful to have a fellowship or society that in those moments of silence prayed me into the rooms. And I'm grateful that this same fellowship or society loved me enough when I couldn't love myself to put up with all my shit. When I went after the new girls and I wasn't so new, nobody told me not to come back, and I'm grateful. When I borrowed the 7th tradition money, nobody told me not to come back, and I'm grateful. When I came into meetings and talked about stealing money at work, nobody told me not to come back. When I came into meetings and talked about trying to pull a handicapped guy out of his car because he cut me off, nobody told me not to come back. All my life, I was asked and then told not to return. Please don't come back. Please, you are not welcome here. Never heard that here, man. You know what? My parents love me and have always loved me to the best of their ability. Maybe that ability just wasn't enough. Maybe what I needed was what I've gotten here. I always wanted to be a part of something. I remember in the 60s, you know, like letting my hair grow a little bit long and going and buying these bell bottoms and, you know, and peace, love and brotherhood and sex, drugs and rock and roll, and like, man, I just wanted to be a part of something, you know, and I thought that like peace, love and brotherhood thing was spiritual. I really did. You know, I thought I was seeking a higher consciousness when I was really, all I was really looking for was relief. I couldn't deal, man. I couldn't deal. Couldn't face life. Couldn't face me. Didn't know how to have a working relationship with me. I didn't know how to be okay with you. I was a loner who lived in my head. If you left me alone, I was fine. I was a dreamer. My first drug of choice and drug of choice today still is escape. And escape can come in many avenues. I don't need a substance to seek escape. I don't need anything. All I have to do is close my mind and deny the truth. All I have to do is distort reality. I can change reality in my head. I can make myself the best looking. I can make myself the nicest. I can believe that I'm the sharpest, that I'm this, that I'm that, that I'm that. But you know what? Thank God there's some people in my life who care enough about me to tell me the truth. Hey, Barry, you know what? You ain't all that. You ain't all that. if you were all that, what the hell would you be doing in a Narcotics Anonymous meeting? That's a neat thing, like we talk about spiritual equality, anonymity, our 12th tradition being the foundation of that of which all of this is based on. When I walk in the door, it doesn't matter what I got out there in the parking lot. It doesn't matter if I got a skateboard, a motorcycle, a limo, or if I got off the bus or walked. Once I walk in and say, hey, you know what, my name is Barry, and I am an addict, what I'm saying is, I'm here for one reason. To help someone and be helped. That's why I'm here today. Like, I could say, yeah, you know what, I got all dressed up today, because I don't usually get dressed up. I'm a jeans kind of guy, but, like, I'm trying to improve, my outsides to match my insides, because I believe my insides are at a good place. They really are. My insides are really, I'm really pleased with where I'm at spiritually, Boy, I have this wonderful, loving God that, like, has done miracles for me. The qualities that I talked about before, like, as far as being a gentleman. Boy, like, God has gifted us, all of us. I mean, like, take 1 second and look at the men and women you are surrounded with. We look wonderful. We really do. Probably most of us are looking the best we have ever looked. You know what I mean? We're acting nice. You know what I mean? Like, I got here like 2 o'clock, and I bet since 2 o'clock, I don't know how many hugs I've gotten. Either, it's a two-way street. Like, nobody's just, if I don't do my fair share, not everybody's just going to come up and give me a hug because I'm Barry G. You know what I mean? I go out of my way. I'm a in the trenches, foot soldier kind of guy. You know what I mean? In Narcotics Anonymous. I believe it tells us in the steps, it says the deeper we wade in, the greater our spiritual rewards will be. I didn't make that up, it's in the book. So, if, and that's really the same thing my mother and father had told me my whole life. Well, you know what, Barry, the more you put into something, the more you're going to get out of something. That's what I love about NA. It says, this is a program written so simply that even I can understand it. Because apparently, all that stuff I heard my whole life, I couldn't understand. So, I'm following this path. So apparently, it is that simple. And you know what? As simple as it is, I'll still try to screw it up. I'll still try to add a little of my shit to it. Or I will still reserve the right to act in accordance to my values, my attitudes, my behaviors. Thinking one more time, I can do this my way. But I mean, really, what is gratitude? Gratitude is like just a state of being. Either you got it or you don't. It's just like being powerless. Ain't no such thing as here today and gone tomorrow. If you are, you are. If you're not, you're not. No such thing as being unmanageable at 2 and manageable at 3. It's a state of being. My sponsor taught me, you know what? You just are powerless. Don't question it. Don't fight it. Surrender. Move on. Find an antidote. The antidote is the 12 steps. It starts with the first step. The admittance. Okay? So, I'm alright with being powerless. Gratitude. Do I got it? Look at my actions. You know what? I have found that anytime I'm questioning what I have, what I don't have, or what I do, what I don't do, take an honest look at my behavior. My actions speak louder than my words. Now, let me examine. Do I have gratitude? Well, when was the last time I did something else for somebody else. All right, well, let me take a look. Since last Sunday, I've been in Baltimore twice. I was in Baltimore last Sunday, went to Baltimore Thursday, was asked to be a part of a few different things. Sure, yes, absolutely. Can I do that? Goddamn right. Monday night, I was at my sponsor's house. Wednesday night, one of my sponsees was at my house and we were going over some writing. Thursday night, back down in Baltimore. A very dear friend of mine celebrated 6 years, who I've known for 20-some years. Gotta go. He asked me to come and partake in the celebration of his recovery. And that's what NA is. That's what NA is about. It's about love. And it's not about talking about love. It's about showing up, being there, doing something for somebody. Because ultimately, when we do something for somebody, who are we really doing it for? We're doing it for ourselves, but we're doing it for God. I mean, we can go one level deeper and one level deeper. And really, what is this all about? It's about showing some gratitude to a loving God that came in and chose us, man. Why us? Why us? What did I do for this gift? I did nothing to claim this gift. Nothing. God's grace. God's mercy. Why us? I believe that we have to acknowledge where the power comes from. It comes from one place. Divine intervention. That's what we're grateful for. You know, a few days ago, February 18th, and I've been reading it every day since, and just for today it talks about acknowledging the partnership. And that's what recovery is based on, a partnership between this loving God and us. And remembering what part I play and what part this loving God plays. And it talks about making a commitment to show up and do the best I can on a daily basis. The things that I am capable of doing, do them, man. Do them. Don't talk about them. Do them. Do them. Do some work, man. And then you know what? The things that I'm not capable, the things that I have no power, that I am not empowered to control, this loving God will take care of. But I got to show up. It talks about showing up, doing the best that I can. I can't drop it all in His lap. Not that He couldn't do it, because I'm not going to deny that this loving God can't do anything, because to deny that this loving God couldn't take care of anything and anybody would really be denying God's existence. And I'm not going to do that. All I'm saying is I need to give credit where credit's due. And I'm here to give credit to this loving God. And I'm here to tell everybody where I got any power that I have in my life. Because an 11th step gave me some power. An 11th step gave me a direction to live my life. And you know what's neat, man? You take like an addict like me. So egotistical, so self-centered, so much of a mismanager. I mean, boy, I could write the book on unmanageability. I could write the book on mismanaging anything. I could write the book. But yet, I committed to something, and I've been here ever since. I've been here. I stayed here. And not only have I done this to help me, but I understand what part I play in the whole scheme of things. That I'm just another servant. Nobody's special. Special to me, special to God, maybe special to a few people who I sponsor or who I've come in contact with, who I've been nice to, who I've developed a relationship with. Yeah, maybe to those people I'm special. But all in all, in the whole scheme of things, I am no special creature. We're talking about spiritual equality, anonymity. I'm grateful to be alive, man. I woke up a lot of days and I didn't want to be alive. I didn't, man. I didn't want to be alive. I just didn't have what it took to end it. I'm grateful to know what love is. Boy, can you imagine that? A cold-ass, cold-hearted, rotten to the core dope fiend talking about love. I mean, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. That's what's wild about what them dudes came when they came and they looked in the door and they said, "This doesn't look like anything good's going to happen here." Like, anywhere where they read who is an addict, something good's going to happen there, man. Anywhere where there's an addict seeking recovery, something good's going to happen there. Hey, you know what, man? It all boils down to this. Anywhere where God's in the house, something good's going to happen. I mean, I hope them guys are getting whatever they were looking for. I hope they found it. Because I found what I'm looking for. Boy, you know what? I'm grateful that I have people who invest their time in a relationship with me. That blows my mind, man. I mean, they call me and say, "Hey, Barry, can I come over? Hey, Barry, do you want to come over to my house? Will you come and speak for me on my anniversary?" It's like, why me? Why me? And then, you know, because I've earned it. I've earned it. I've been there. I've been there for so many motherfuckers in this program. I mean, if you know, I'm not saying this to brag. I'd give anybody in here anything I got. I mean, you know, I paid to have people's cars fixed, and I paid to do whatever, man. And I've fed them, and I've clothed them, and I've taken them places, and I'll go way out of my way, way sometimes out of my means, to do something for somebody else. What's my fair share? I have no idea. But I ain't going to settle for saying this is my fair share. My fair share is whatever the call is. If I'm able, I'm there. That's what my fair share is. There's a lot of people like me, you know. That's where I learned how to do it. I didn't walk into Narcotics Anonymous and learn how to be a traveling addict. I didn't know. You know what I mean? I was content to be in one little home group. You know what I mean? In one little area for a long time until I met somebody that said, "Hey, man, there's more to NA than your little home group." I can remember going to my first convention. It was in Philly. And it was 1985. And it blew my mind. It blew my mind. You know, because I was used to like the same few faces here and there. I can remember the first time I heard somebody or heard of somebody who had 20 years clean in this fellowship. And it blew my mind. Because all the people in my neighborhood had 90 days, and I thought they were like treading water, you know what I mean? Like I thought they could part the Red Seas. And you know what? When I heard people start breaking down steps, it was like, wow. Wow. And you know what, man? Like, how about the first time that I'm at a meeting, and I'm like, when I came in here, I got to tell you, I was like, desperate. All I had was a Blue Cross card. I came in, I was on welfare. I had a cutoff notice from gas and electric. I had an eviction notice. And I was at this meeting, and these people said, it was on Saturday night, and it was in Maple Shade, New Jersey, and these people said, come on, we're going to the diner. Whew. I didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. You know? Just didn't have it. And they said, come on, let's go. And I ain't got no money, man. Well, don't worry about it. So I come to the diner, and I sit down, and these 2 guys, and this one guy sitting next to me, he was a couple years older than me, raspy voice. He's like, get whatever you want, kid. And I said, I'll take a Coke. And he goes, oh, come on, man, you can get whatever you want. All right, give me an order of French fries. When the waitress came, the waitress said, give him a cheeseburger deluxe, French fries and coleslaw. Did I turn it down? No way. No way. I wasn't that humble. And later on, you know, I said, man, thanks. Why did you do this? You know? And the answer was simple. This is what was done for me. And when you're able, you do this for somebody else. You know? And that all goes back to the first time that I ever heard this message for real, and listen. And it was in an H&I situation, and these 4 people, like I said, they came and they said, hey, Barry, listen, the problem has been identified. You have no more excuses. But not only are we going to tell you what the problem is, we are going to offer you a solution. And the solution is a Narcotics Anonymous way of life. NA, a new way to live. A better way to live. And it ties right into that 5th tradition that any addict, man, any one of us, can stop using drugs, lose that desire, find a new way to live, and then, see, this is Barry wanting to, if the basic text is ever rewritten, I want him to add, and can find the willingness to serve God by helping other human beings. But these people said it to me, you know, and I went back to my room, and they were like brutally honest with me. They said, Barry, your life sucks, man. Take a look at your life. You don't have answers. You're 36 years old. You ain't got shit. How many times you've been locked up? You can't keep a job. You can't keep a family. You can't stay out of jail. Don't tell us your life is good. We know better. You can bullshit them. You ain't bullshitting us. So they said, listen, when you go back and you're all by yourself tonight, take an honest look at your life. If you don't like what you see, get on your hands, get on your knees, and ask God for help. And see, I had a real problem with that because I was born and raised Jewish. Okay, I didn't get on my knees for nobody. Okay, it just doesn't go in the Jewish religion. You just don't bow. It's part of the thing. But I was so far removed from that, and I was in such desperation. I said, hey, you know what? I'll do anything. I'll get on. Christ, I'll get on my hands and knees. So what? And I got down on my hands and knees. And I talked to this God just like I'm talking to you. And I said, hey, God, listen. I don't know if you are. I don't know what you are. I don't know who you are. All I know is if you can help me to find what these people are talking about, I will do anything. And you see, that's how awesome this loving God is. Because at that point in time, I was still putting a condition on him. If you can help me, I'll do this. And he just embraced me. He embraced me. And he put some people in my life who made sense to me, who were willing to love me, who were willing to show me, who were willing to guide me in my recovery, and who showed me that as long as I'm living this way, I have nothing to fear. Nothing. And what happened was, I made this promise, man, and I never promised anybody anything, you know. I mean, like, for real, I promised the probation officer, yeah, man, I'm going to stop shooting dope. Yeah, I won't give you another dirty urine. Yeah, you know, I'm telling the classification counselor, yeah, I'll go to college. And this is an institution. Yeah, I'll go to college. I'll do this. You know, all them promises. Told my mom, yeah, I'll stop shooting dope. I'll stop stealing. Telling my father, yeah, I'll stop doing this. Telling the teacher, I'll stop cutting school. You know, I made all them promises. We all made all them promises. You know, but this was a heartfelt promise, man. It came from here. On my knees in total desperation. And I said, hey, God, listen, man, I need help. I need help. I am desperate, man. I do not want to die. And worse than that, I don't want to suffer. I've suffered for 20 years. I've suffered. I've lived in cars. I've lived in the streets. I've been stuck up. I've been robbed. I've been pistol whipped. I've been stabbed. I don't want to do this no more. Help me. Come on, man. Help me. My prayers were answered. This loving God, man. I was kept here long enough to learn why this all happened for me. It's got to be somebody to be there for the next guy. There's probably going to be somebody riding down Route 9 tonight, today, who needs help desperately, but has no idea how or where to go to get it. But we have to be available. That's why we have the moment of silence. That's how awesome God's love is for us. That when we close the meeting with that moment of silence for the addict who still suffers, what we're asking God for is somebody else to come in here and help. Come on, God. Give us another one. Come on, God. Has He let us down yet? Has He ever let us down? So why do we bite the hand that feeds us? That's it, man. Human. You know? Too caught up in money, property, and prestige. Too caught up in my own self-centeredness. Can't see the forest through the trees. Can't see it. Can't see it. I get moments of sanity, moments of clarity, moments when in my heart I know I'm doing the right thing. But I have a lot of times that, man, I just don't know. And all I can do, I ask myself, I say, hey, Barry, listen. Would God be proud of what you're doing right now? Would you be displeased to go back to your home group or to an NA meeting and report your behavior for the day? And chances are, if I would not be pleased with reporting or telling on myself, I'm not doing the right thing. I'm not doing the right thing. I fall short every day. Every day. You know, I yelled at my wife the other night, man. I was like, I gotta honestly say, I'm coming out of a miserable funk that I've been in for a few months. I started this interferon treatment. I have hepatitis B and hepatitis C, and one of the side effects of this medicine is may cause depression. And I really didn't notice it because it's a gradual change that I can't see. But like people who are close to me have said, Barry, man, you just ain't you. You know what I mean? You ain't the Barry that I know. And I'm just now coming out of it. But like at the beginning of the week, I think it was Monday night, man, I was like screaming at my wife in front of my kids. And believe me, I love my wife, man. I love my wife more than I've ever loved any other woman. You know, I've done more for her than I would ever consider doing for any other human being. But, you know, I've been in this funk. My life is hard. We have 3 kids under 7. And she goes to school and she works. And I get home from work after working a 9-10 hour day and she's out the door to work. And I don't want to make dinner, man. I don't want to clean dishes. I don't want to give 3 kids a bath. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to have to time the lasagna in the oven with making a salad and the lasagna being too hot and the rolls being too cold and you know, and I don't want to have to worry about, well, what time am I going to have to give the baby the bottle and make sure Chelsea does her homework before 8 o'clock so she can be in bed by 8 o'clock. I'm overwhelmed with life. I really am. I'm overwhelmed. In recovery, I've gotten everything I never wanted. I never wanted a house. Never thought it was possible. Never wanted a wife. Didn't think I could keep one. Didn't want a lawn to mow. Didn't want a car to maintain. I was telling the guys when we were down in Baltimore the other night, I was showing them where I was staying, and I used to tell them, I'd say, hey, you know what? I used to walk 20 blocks this way and 20 blocks that way to the methadone program, 6 o'clock in the morning. Drink my juice, then walk 1 block to work. Nice and convenient, you know what I mean? Then after work, walk like back to the methadone program and 1 block away from that to the McDonald's. And the reason that I walked all those blocks to work and didn't take the bus was because the bus was 35 cents. So round trip, you're talking 70 cents. For 70 cents, if I could bum another quarter, I could get 2 10-milligram Valiums. You know what I mean? I would rather eat 2 10-milligram Valiums with my methadone than spend 70 cents on a bus. I thought that was being good to myself. Things have changed. Being good to myself today is staying in the presence of a loving God. Being good to myself today is keeping the commitment in this partnership that I've established. And it's an equal partnership. I show up, I do my best, God does the rest. Equal partnership. The days that I don't have it and I can't do it, I've been carried through. And that's a lot of days. Like I said, I mean, you know, if I haven't apologized to my wife, which I can't honestly say I have, I'm apologizing to her now, and I'll definitely do it when I get home. I had to make amends to a girl on the phone the other night. She's celebrating 6 years in a federal prison in West Virginia. And she called into the meeting. And I had been writing her faithfully. I went up and spoke at the prison where she was. And it was like, what, an 8 or 10 hour drive to go up and do it. But that's what we do here. That's what we do. Things happen between her and somebody else. I was closer with the other party. And for some reason I lost willingness. I said, F it, you know what I mean? She's got other people writing to her, and, you know, I used to send her all the tapes anytime I spoke. I'd write her, you know, write to her about where I was at, and it was nice, you know? She called into this meeting. She found out I was there on the telephone, and she's hundreds of miles away. I had to apologize. I had to say I was sorry. for that kind of treatment. I didn't get clean to cause harm. I don't want to cause harm in anybody's life. And you know what? I promised her. I made a commitment. And this was in front of like 200 people at this meeting that I was speaking at. It was her husband, her husband had asked me to come and speak for him. Take care of this unfinished business. And I made it a point that when Billy came here, I had the bag ready. I said, Billy, this is for Karen. Recovery's action. You know, I fall short, but I can do the action needed to mend the situation. And saying I'm sorry doesn't get it, man. Doesn't get it. It's mending the behavior. Mending my ways. You know, telling my wife after I yelled at her for 15 minutes, saying I'm sorry doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. How do I change it? Stop yelling at her. Go to more meetings. But anyway, I'm here to report that I'm out of the funk. I'm back. I'm back. And you know what, man? It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back. Boy, I tell you, it feels good to be embraced by a loving God. Feels good. Feels good to be embraced by some people who like I said, I've invested in a relationship with. Now, dig this. Talk about total self-centeredness. Like I said, I was in Baltimore last Sunday. I was with my sponsor Monday night. I was with Les. He came over, went over some writing on Wednesday night. I was in Baltimore Thursday night. So this morning I said to my wife, listen, I'm going down to the Cape Atlantic Convention. Would you be upset if I stayed for the banquet speaker? I've heard her tape, and I really enjoyed it. And I'd love to hear her in person. I'd like to meet her. Is that cool? And she just gave me that look like, boy, you got a lot of nerve. I'm here with these 3 kids. It ain't all about you. It ain't. So I didn't even have to wait for an answer. I just said, hey, what time would you like me home? And she said, 8 o'clock? And I said, how about 9? She said, 8 o'clock? She said, you come home at 8 o'clock. I'll have the children in bed. And we'll have a nice evening together. And the first thing I thought of was, well, we did that last night. You know what I mean? Like last night was my home group, Friday night, and I didn't go. Because of the week, the week that I told you, it's like, well, geez, he was over Wednesday night, I was there Monday night, Sunday night, and I was in Baltimore Thursday night. How can I go out Friday night and do, I can't be everywhere every day, But I tell you, I have made a commitment this year, at the beginning of this year, to get tighter with my family. I need NA, but I don't need to be on a circuit. A lot has been asked of me in the last, I don't know, it's really weird. I've always been available for anybody, anywhere, to do anything, but I spoke at the World Convention in Baltimore, and ever since then my phone is ringing constantly. Can you come? Can you come? Can you do this? And like I said before, I'm the kind of person that I don't know my fair share. I don't know it. I believe that when that phone rings, it's God calling, and that you don't say no. I've talked to my sponsor, and I've also heard other members, experienced members of Narcotics Anonymous, share about practicing these principles in all our affairs, and part of that is living it at home. You know what I mean? what am I really doing if I'm at a different podium every weekend and my kids really don't even know who I am? I'm just being a father. I want to be a daddy, and I've always prided myself in being a daddy. I'll tell you what, I'll bet you I can change a diaper as fast as any woman in this room. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I know all my kids' birthdays. I know what colors they like. They know who my friends are by name. They know my sponsor's name. They know the guys I sponsor's name. And I try to take, I was going to bring, my wife was a little overwhelmed as I was walking out the door, and the 18-month-old was screaming, and the two older ones had two other ones in the house, and all the rugrats, shit's flying everywhere, and she looked a little overwhelmed, like, God damn, you get to go out again? And I said, listen, you want me to take a couple with me? And I honestly meant it, and I would have brought them, and she said, what are you going to do, pawn them off on Rocky while you're speaking? And I said, yeah. And she said, nah, she goes, I have no objection to kids being in NA meetings if there is a necessity. She goes, but I don't want to volunteer these kids for NA meetings. And that's cool. I know I've been long-winded, but I tell you what, it just feels so good to be in the graces of a loving God and in the graces of a few individuals that, like, it's hard to shut up, man. It's like, remember the first time we got high, we wanted to tell everybody, hey, man, I found the shit. You know what I mean? I found the shit. And we wanted to turn all our friends onto it. Then after all the years of all the struggle and of active addiction, we find recovery, and we want to go back and do that same thing. Okay? We'll have that for a while, lose it for a while, regain it, and here I am to report. It works if you work it. I'm an addict named Barry. If nobody's told you they love you, keep coming back. I love you. Thanks.